Hi guys, in this video we will be looking at question 4 mathematics grade 10 paper 1 November 2022, right? As we are revising today functions. So if you are new to this channel guys, what are you waiting for? You only subscribe once, right? Comment, like and share. Well, we are at 977 subscribers. Thank you for all of those. For those of you who have subscribed, we really appreciate. We are left with 23 subscribers to reach that milestone, to reach that 1K. We really appreciate you guys. So without wasting time, let's get to today's video. So they said the sketch below shows the graph of a to the power of x minus 3, which is a graph of an exponential, and we are given a graph of a hyperbola. G of x is equals to negative 4 all over x minus 4. And A is a point on the graph of f, and B is a point on the graph of f, and B is a point on the graph of G, such that C is the x-intercept of the graph of both, meaning that C is the intersection of all the graphs. So they said at first question, 4.1, 4.1.1, write down the domain of f. Well, the domain of f, which is an exponential, will always be x is an element of real numbers. So you're going to write xer. You're going to write xer, guys. That's how you are going to get the domain of f. But we'll put that into writing. At 4.1.2, they said the range of hyperbola, the range as well will be yer, right? Or you can use other alternatives to get the range, but you can also say yer. Let's put that into practice. Well, at question 4, guys, remember it's gonna be 4.1. 4.1, they're looking for the domain. That will be x. It's an element of real numbers. That was this is 4.1.1. Then let's go to 4.1.2. Okay, for 4.1.1, the solution will be x is an element of real numbers. For 4.2.2, they said the range of G. Remember that your G is given as y is equals to 4 all over x minus 4. This is for a hyperbola. They're looking for the range of a hyperbola. So you could just say yer. That will also be great. Or you can use other alternatives. You can still gonna get the range. Then at 4.1.3, they want us to, at 4.1.3, they want us to determine the equation of the asymptote of f. They want us to find the equation of the asymptote of f. Remember, at f, you are given y, or f of x. Remember, f of x can be, we replace it by y. So f of x, which is equals to a to the power of x minus 3. So they are looking for the equation of the asymptote. The equation of asymptote will be this. Remember, an exponential equation has a horizontal asymptote. So that will be our q here, which is negative 3. So we are going to say y is equals to negative 3. So that's how we are going to get that beautiful mark. So now we'll move to 4.2. Let's get into practice. At 4. Remember I told you, so we did get this one mark and this one mark and this one mark. Now let's look at 4.2. Show that the value of a is negative. It's 3 to the power of negative 1. How many marks is that? 2 marks. So we are going to use this equation, which is f at x is equals to a to the power of x minus 3. Let's put that into practice. At 4.2, remember we are given a to the power of x minus 3. So there's a point at a that is lying there. So let's see what's the other points that we can use to find a. The other point that I'm talking about is negative 2 and 6, guys. So this is a point that also touches, at f, right? We can't use C because we don't know C, but we know A. We can use what is given there, which is -2 and 6, since they said A is a point on the graph of F, right? So since A is given as -2 and 6, you name this X, you name this Y. Meaning that where there's Y, you can put 6, where there's A, you can put -2, then you have -3. So we can take -3 to the right hand side, to the left hand side. So if we take -3 to the left hand side, we're going to have 6 plus 3. Here we are going to have a to the power of -2. What is 6 plus 3? That will be 9. A to the power of -2. It's the same as having in a positive exponent, it will be 1 all over a squared. So this is the same as 9 all over 1. Then what we can do is cross multiply. What is 9 times a squared? It's 9a squared. What is 1 times 1? It's 1. We will then divide both sides by 9. Then this and this cancels. What are we left with? It's a squared. So it goes to 1 all over 9. Square root of a, it's a. Square root of 1 all over 9. Well, that will be plus or minus 1 over 3. So let's focus on the one that is positive. So we are having 1 over 3. So 1 over 3, when you write it in an exponential form, it's the same as 3 to the power of -1. Then hence we have shown this. Yes, we have shown this. And since they said, show that the value of a is 3 to the power of -1. So that's how you can work out 4.2. Now we'll look at 4.3. Let's see what are we given on at 4.3. At 4.3, determine the coordinate of C. How many marks is that? That's 3 marks. So the coordinate of C, guys, it's an x-intercept of both graph. You can use any of the graphs to find point of C. Let's use the graph of G, or we can use the graph of F, since they said C is the x-intercept of the graph. So we will use this intersection because this is where they intersect. This is where both graphs intersect. So we'll use this one to find the coordinate. We'll use any equation to find the coordinate of C. So at 4.3, remember I said we can use any of the equation. So let's take the equation of a hyperbola there. We have 4 all over x. Okay, right, guys. Let me check whether it's a negative or positive, right? Well, it's -4 all over x minus 4. So since we're looking for C is the x-intercept. So for x-intercept, you let y be 0. Where there is y, you put 0, guys. So this will be -4 all over x minus 4. So you take this -4 to the right hand side, this becomes positive. So you have -4 all over x and 4 all over 1. What do? We cross multiply. Orlando Pirates, right? What do we do now? 4 times x, that will be 4x. What is 4 times -1? That will be -4. So what I'm going to do is to divide by 4. If I divide by 4 here, we are left with x. What is 4 divided by -4? That will be -1. Thus, C, it's -1. And remember your y value you set, it's 0. So we have C as -1. I hope you're getting it, guys. Hope you're getting it. So let's move to 4.4. Well, for 4.4, they said, write down the values of x for which g of x is greater than f of x, right? Well, this is happening at C. This is happening at C, meaning that this is happening at C, where g of x is greater than f of x, where the graph of g is greater. So we can see the graph of g is increasing. Hence, this one, it's going below. So thus, we could say x is an element of -1 and 0. So that's how it should be with 4.4. Let's put that into practice. So for 4.4, guys, we will be saying our solution will be x is an element of -1 and 0, right? So, or you can use the other alternative. So in this case, we'll say x is an element of -1 and 0. since they said write down the values of x for which f of g of x is greater than f of x, where g of x is above f of x. That's what they are saying. So that is happening at C, so that will be -1 and 0. Hope you did get it, guys. Now let's move at 4.4. Now let's move at 4.5. At 4.5, they said determine the equation of the straight line through A and C. Let me just go there. Okay, so they said through A and C. A, you are given, they want the equation of straight line. You're given A, you also have C. Remember C, we did calculate it as -1. So we need to find the equation of straight line. You can't find the equation of straight line without finding the gradient of a straight line first. So we'll find the gradient using these two coordinates, A and C. Then that will be easy for us to get the equation of C. Then at 4.5.2, they said, now determine the axis of symmetry of G with a negative gradient. I will also show you how you are going to get that one. Let's put that into practice. As for 4.5.1, remember that we are looking for the gradient of the straight line through AC. So we need to find the gradient of AC. So we're given A as -2 and 6, and we're given that C, it's -1 and 0. We did calculate that. You name this x1, you name this x2. So I'm going to say the gradient of AC, remember it's changing y all over changing x, so that will be y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So remember your y2, it's 0 here. Your y1, that will be 6. So your x2, that will be -1. Your x1, that will be -2. So let's put that into practice. That will be -6. So remember that here you are having negative and negative, it's positive. So in other words, you're having -1 plus 2. So what is -1 plus 2? It's the same as saying 2 minus 1. It's the same as saying 2 minus 1, which is 1. So you're going to plug in 1 here. So -1 divided by 6, that will be -6. So we have our gradient AC as what? As -6. So remember, according to our equation of a straight line, it's ymx plus c, ymx plus c, where at mx, at m, you're going to put -6 plus c. So we can use any of the equation, any of the coordinate. Let's use A as -2 and 6 so that we can get the equation. So this is x and y. We're substituting A to get C, right? So where there is y, you replace it by 6. Where there is x, you're going to replace it by -2 plus c. So from there, -6 multiplied by -2, that will be +12 plus c, which will be, okay. So what I'm going to do is to take 12 to the other side. So 6 minus 12 is equals to c. Thus, therefore, what is 6 minus 12? That will be -6. So I'm not done, guys. I need to find the equation. Remember, I'm having -6x. So my c is already known as 6. So this is the equation, guys. This is the equation of a straight line that they're looking for through A and C. I hope you saw. First, you need to find the gradient. Then after finding the gradient, you find the value of C. Then use the coordinate here to calculate C. Then you're safe, right? So let's go to 4.5.2. I hope you're learning on how to answer such questions in functions. Functions are very important. Then at 4.5.2, they said, determine the equation of the axis of symmetry of G with a negative gradient. When they talk about the axis of symmetry, the symmetrical line, there are two. So here they're talking about the one that is negative. So you're going to say y is equals to -x plus c, where m, it's negative, where m is less than 0, right? So we are going to use an asymptote. Remember, we are working with G here. The graph of G was given as what? If you look there, it was given as -4x minus 4. So minus 4, it's our asymptote. So remember, at grade 10 we focus on horizontal asymptote. We don't have a vertical asymptote. Let the vertical asymptote be 0 and the horizontal asymptote be negative 4. So we have x here, we have y. Where you see y, you're going to put negative 4. Where you see x, you're going to put negative 0 plus c. So if you take the other side, you're left with negative 4, which is equals to c. So c is equals to negative 4. So this will be negative x minus 4 as our solution. I hope I've made sense, guys. So that's how you can get the axis of symmetry with a negative gradient. So if you were asked to get it with a positive gradient, your equation will be yx plus c, where m is greater than 0 for a positive gradient. So in case if they don't ask you that, they will ask you this. So you just have to be very cautious on how you tackle your equations, right? Let's go to 4.6 now. 4.6. At 4.6, they said if AB is a horizontal line, calculate the length of AB. Well, let's go there. So we need to find the horizontal. They said what? The length of AB, if AB is a horizontal line. So if AB is a horizontal line, we can see that it shares, there's a coordinate that they share, which is 6, right? Both of them are at the same, at this y value at 6, so they share a y value. What is missing is the x value, in which we need to find it. How do we get that y value? So since we are told that the statement that B is a point on the graph of G, we are told there B is a point on the graph of G. So we are going to use the equation of G to find the x value of B, right? So mind you that the x value here, it's 6. The y value is 6. Well, remember our horizontal line. We said that remember A is negative 2 and 6. And they're on the same horizontal line, so meaning that we don't know x, but we know the y value, which is 6. They share the same y value. What is missing is this. So we are going to use the equation of a parabola. So remember, y is equals to negative 4 all over x minus 6. Where there is y, you replace it by 6. So we are having negative 4 all over x. And what are we having here? Negative 6. So if we take negative 6 to the other side, it will be 6 plus 6, which will be 12, which is 12 negative 4 all over x. Then we can, what we can do here, guys, all right, what we can do is to use math. I think I'm making a mistake here. Here it was given as negative 4, not 6. Sorry for that. Because when you take negative 4 to the other side, is 6 plus 4, which is 10. So we are having 10 here. So multiply both sides by x, you are going to have 10x, which is equals to negative 4. Remember, if you multiply by x here, you also multiply by x. This and this, they cancel. Divide everything by 10. Then what is negative 4 all over 10? Yes, that will be 5 all over 2. Our x is 5 all over 2. Are we done? No. We're looking for the length of AB. So we are going to take subtract our x values, guys. We're going to subtract our x values to find the horizontal, to find the length of AB. So that will be negative 2 minus what are we having? Negative 5 all over 2. So this will be negative. Negative and negative, that will be positive. So we're having 5 all over 2, which is the same as negative 2 all over 1. So if we find an LCD there, our LCD, let me just write it here. Find an LCD. What will be, say, 1 times 2, which will be 2. Then we can cross multiply. 2 times 2, that will be -4, and 1 times 5, that will be 5. Then when we have -4 plus 5, it's the same as saying 5 minus 4, which is 1. So we are going to have 1 over 2. So we are going to have 0.5 units. That's how it should be, right? That's how it should be with 4.6. Hope guys you are winning. Now we will look at question 5 down with question 4. That's how it should be, guys. You just have to follow your basics, know your basics very well, then you'll be fine with this graph interpretation. Well, now we are at question 5. Consider a quadratic function h with the following characteristics. Axis of symmetry is the y-axis. Remember, the axis of symmetry, it's that line that passes that cuts the graph into two equal parts. Then the second point is that the x-intercepts are -4 and 0 and 4 and 0, and the graph cuts at the y-axis at -8. Sketch the graph on H on a system of axes. Clearly show all the intercept with axes. Let's put that into practice. Yes, for 5, we're at 5.1. So let's follow what was said by drawing a Cartesian plane. You'll use a ruler. Yours will be much beautiful and accurate. So our first x-intercept we're given as -4. Another one was 4. And we're being told that the graph cuts at the y-axis at -8. So that's going to be our... let me just extend it. Sorry for that. So let me just extend. That will be -8. So we also have our x-intercept, and this is our y-axis, which is also our turning point, right? So this is the graph. The axis of symmetry will be here. It passes here. This will be the axis of symmetry. So we have our x-intercepts, which is -4 and 4. We also have -8, right? So that's the graph, guys. That's the graph graphically. So we have shown all the all intercepts with the axis at 5.1. Now let's go to 5.2. Let's see how many marks was that. Remember, at question 4, we're working for 19 marks. The marks were great, right? Remember, if you can get these marks, guys, you're safe, right? You just have to know your basics. So that was 3 marks, guys. We will get 3 marks for showing all intercepted axes. Then at 5.2, we are working with 2 marks. We're working for another 3 marks again. They said determine the equation of the graph in the form of h is equals to ax squared plus q. For 5.2, guys, you can use any of the coordinate, -4 or 4 and 0 to find the values of a, because already the value of q, we're already given, because it is our y value, which will be -8. It is our q. This is where the graph cuts the graph cuts the y-axis at -8, meaning that this is where our y value of a turning point will be. Remember, q is our y value of a turning point. So it will be h of x, which is equals to ax squared minus 8. So now we'll use -4 or 4 to find the value of a. So let me work out 5.2. 5.2, guys, as I've said, remember it's ax squared. Our q is given as -8, which is our y value of a turning point. So through -4 and 0, this is the coordinate that we are going to substitute. You need one coordinate to calculate the value of a. So this will be -4, which is x, and this will be our y. Where I see y, I'm replace it by 0. Where I see x, replace it by 4. So from here, what is -4 squared? That will be 16. 16 what? 16a, and we have minus 8 here, which is equals to 0. Take 8 to the other side, change the sign, becomes plus 8, or positive 8, which is 16. 8 is equals to 16a. Divide by 16 both sides. How many? This will give you half, because this will give you half. This will give you half. Therefore, for you to find the equation of h, this will be h of x. Our a is half x squared minus 8. So this is the graph of h. Beautiful 3 marks, guys. Beautiful 3 marks. You just have to follow what is said in the statement. You will never go wrong as long as you follow the rules. Rules and basics are very important. So we are going to 5.3. We will also look at 5.4 as well. So at 5.4, write down the values of x for which f at x it's lesser or equal to 0. Yes, this will happen at our x values, guys. Let's go back to the graph. We'll find the solution. How many marks is this? That's 2 marks. We'll also look at 5.4. Write down the equation of k if k of x is equals to a negative our h is if is negative x, h of x minus 6. That's 2 marks as well. Let's work out these 4 marks, right? So that we can get these beautiful 10 marks. So remember at 5.3 they said write down the values of x where h of x is less than or equal to 0, where it's going below. So this is happening here, guys. This is happening here. This is happening here where it goes below. So it's between negative 4 and 4. So meaning that I am going to say x is an element of negative 4 and 4, right? So this will be my solution for 5.3. Or you can use the other one. Negative 4, it's greater than x but lesser than 4. You can also use that other one as your alternative for 5.3, right? So for 5.4, they said if k of x is equals to negative h of x minus 6. So let's go to h of x, guys. Let's go to the graph, our graph of h of x. Remember, our graph of h of x, we did calculate it that they said now it's negative, where h of x is negative. So let me write it in y is equals to, in the form of y is equals to a half x squared minus 8. When they say where it's negative, it means that where the y value is negative. So I'm going to say negative half x squared minus 8, then divide everything by negative. Negative and negative, it's positive. If you divide here, you are going to get negative x half x squared. If you divide negative 8, you're going to have plus 8, right? So we already have our equation of negative h of x. So we will plug it here. So let's go. We have negative half x squared plus 8 minus what? Minus 6. So we have h of x as negative half x squared. So what is 8 minus 6? That will be plus 2. So this is your new graph. K of x, sorry for that. You need to leave it in a form of k of x. So your graph in a form of k of x will be negative half x squared plus 2. Will be negative half x squared plus 2. Hope guys you did get it. That was our beautiful question 4 and 5. We'll Thursday, guys, will tackle the remaining parts, which is question 6 and 7. So hope guys you did benefit a lot from this video and you have learned something. Remember, practice makes it perfect, laziness makes it hard. So we'll see what we are going to look at our next video. On our next video, we will look at question 6 and question 7, where we'll look at financial mathematics, which is 10 marks. We'll also look at question 7, where okay, question 7, it's more of probability, right? We will be taught how to calculate such questions. Hope guys you are benefiting from these videos. And on weekend we will look at our beautiful paper 2, which involves trigonometry, analytical geometry, statistics, and measurement. Right, if you're new to this channel guys, what are you waiting for? Kindly subscribe. You only subscribe once, and remember, we love you.